episode 23 of ICOPOD. I'm Bob Collian Jr. and my right-hand man, Austin Skinner.
I am destruction.
Adam Baum, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on my mind lately.
He's like our new favorite guy, I think, right?
He's captured my imagination in this journey that we're going through together. But you know what else I was thinking?
What?
What if Adam Baum, the character, had been played by Chris Canyon? Better or worse?
That's a good question. I think I would have probably Brian Clark.
Yeah, still go with him?
Yeah, just because the Adam Baum, I don't know, I guess just the idea of Adam Baum, I would imagine a big guy. Canyon's not small, per se, but...
No, but I'm trying to think whether or not maybe Clark didn't get over at this time because he was relatively limited in the ring, I would say.
Well, he's on this episode that we're going to be doing. I don't think he's limited, though, for a big guy.
I don't know if the audience is necessarily all in. The look is there.
Yeah, it might be a character thing.
Yeah.
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 Like, oh, are we supposed to believe in a monk?
Right.
Or, you know.
Right. Well, and I hate to criticize the guy, but I mean, look at Brian Clark's ability to kind of sell any gimmick. Like, did I believe him as Wrath?
I did.
When I don't think I did.
And then Kevin Nash killed him. And that was it.
No. Nash did that?
No, I know.
No.
It was a great time. If we get that far in this journey, it's pretty funny that they have an undefeated Goldberg at the time in '98, Goldberg, and then like it was a build up to Starrcade, and Nash just beat him in like 4 minutes. I beat one undefeated guy, I'll beat another one.
Suck on that, too sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So as noted here, though, we're on episode 23. If you have any kind of comments or concerns or whichever about the podcast, you can pass them along at ICOPOD on Facebook or ICOPodcast@gmail.com. And that goes for anything. So if it's something on episode 2, and you're just like, oh, I didn't agree with that, or oh, here's my thoughts on that, we'll eventually get them read on the air. Because as we've mentioned before, we tape like 7 episodes ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it might take us a little while.
But you'll hear it.
But we'll have like a section where we'll discuss things and
and you know what?
Relive them if we have to.
Right, and the more people write in, and the more kind of corners we cover, as far as viewpoints of this time period, I think the more people will be able to relate to this show. Because think of it, it's only me and Bob talking about this right now. But again, the more you guys send in, the more we can shed light on certain areas that we might even miss. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. And then another thing that I'm going to note here is obviously you're moving this coming Friday.
Yes, this is the last live recording day.
Right. So we'll probably mention it again in the next episode, but we're going to be doing the June 7th Raw and King of the Ring 93 together.
Yes.
And then after that will be the end,
Solo, Bob.
The end of ICOPOD.
Yeah.
No, we'll continue this trend here, but we're going to have to do it through like a Google Hangout or something, which then opens the possibility of including more people here to then talk about it.
Hey.
Because that makes it considerably easier, considering I guess 3 or 4 people or whichever would all be in different areas and easier to record in that manner. So if you would be interested in maybe coming on ICOPOD, if there's 1 week I can't do it or 1 week that Austin can't do it, or we just want more people on the show, then you can pass it along to us, and there's no application needed.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
There's gonna be a fee though, like you have to pay us.
A high tariff.
It's like a retainer.
Right.
Right.
So if you ditch us, we got $500
each.
Yeah.
Each, so like $1,000.
With that said, I don't really plan to stray away from the 2 stars of the show. Like, you might be able to pop in and out every once in a while, but don't get it twisted. Checks are still written to me and Bob.
Right. And then, so like, let's say you want to be on SummerSlam 93. That's cool and all, but like we'll let you talk about like 2 matches.
Right.
We'll cover everything else.
Yeah, you just be quiet.
Keep it like 20 seconds.
Mute your mic.
Yeah.
And if you chime in, we do have to charge you for every millisecond that you hear your voice in the audio recording.
Yes.
So
That's only fair.
right.
I feel like all the other podcasts do that, and if they don't, that's just poor business.
Most people charge double what we will. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
only charge maybe $100 a millisecond or something like that. So
something pretty minor.
yeah. So
Something only that would allow us to quit our jobs
right.
and then live off of, having people pay us to talk.
Some people say we're stealing your money, but like, don't listen to them. They're kind of like haters of the show.
Yeah,
So
they're jealous of our business plan,
right.
and they're probably gonna steal it from us. So that's okay.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in being on the show, we may or may not actually do that, and then you can just pass it along to the email or get in contact with myself or Austin if you want to. I know Mike Campbell's mentioned that he'd probably like to be on it. Joe, your buddy Joe.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, especially for guys who have lived through it. Like we not necessarily watched this live.
Right.
So that would be, again, I think going through it step by step with somebody for a full episode, not just an email, would be very interesting.
Yeah. So that would be something that we'll definitely look into. I am not the brightest guy technology-wise, but I know there's a few guys. Because I do the Wrestling 20 Years Ago podcast with some guys overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I can probably get with those guys and figure it out. So
Bob's got connections.
yeah, I'm kind of a big... I guess that's considered name dropping.
Right. He's a big deal.
Yeah.
He's a big deal.
Not. Well, speaking of Wrestling 20 Years Ago, though, you can check out those podcasts. They talk about wrestling from 20 years ago.
Right.
Each month.
Hence the name.
Hence the name.
Yeah, of course.
But this should have been Wrestling 25 years ago.
Ooh,
What
yeah,
were
we got him
thinking?
beat.
What were we?
I don't know.
Oh, man,
We
we're
blew
just-
it.
We're not smart.
Right.
Anyway, so let's get into some news here before we continue on with the Raw review. Some Observer notes here. Rick Martel. We haven't seen him in a few months, probably about 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
He recently worked a Winnipeg house show on June 4th, losing to Tatanka, which he's been doing now for about 2.5 years. And he helped Luna Vachon beat Sherry on the same show, and it looks like he's trying to get his old job back in the WWF. Would you want to see Rick Martel back?
In what capacity?
As a wrestler?
If he's doing jobs, yes.
As an enhancement guy?
Yeah.
Or like the competitive
Competitive,
named guy, but it's
but
gonna
we
lose?
need you to get this guy over.
That seems like a pretty reasonable idea
Yeah.
to utilize him in that.
Like, is Rick Martel winning a match while I have him on the show? Probably not.
Would you have him win more matches than, say, a guy like Damien Demento?
No.
You'd have Damien Demento win more matches than Rick Martel.
Oh, they'd be on the same plane.
Well, Demento's won some matches. He beat
Yeah, a couple.
He beat Jim Brunzell.
Right.
On Raw.
Well, I mean, if that's the caliber we're talking
That's what I'm
then
saying.
yes.
So like he's an enhancement guy, but he'll beat other enhancement guys.
Yeah, but in a serious match, you give him no chance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that's that
Completely.
works. Scott Steiner missed a weekend of house shows due to a pulled hamstring.
He's still going to kick your ass, Bob.
Yeah, I mean you could probably cut off from the knee down, and he'd still hit me with a Frankensteiner
Completely.
and like break my neck.
Yeah.
Backstage morale is down as house show business has been way down on some shows, not even drawing more than 1,000 in the Southeast.
Ooh.
Recently, the WWF has developed a face-to-face segment for syndication shows where talents would cut localized promos. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
No.
I kind of like those ones. They're on YouTube. They're pretty cool. Like, it could be like, I guess now, like more in the time frame, like Razor Ramon and the Kid. They'd have like a split screen
yeah,
promo.
I have seen those.
I
have
kind
seen
of like those. Anyway, they do those on Tuesdays, and it essentially is taking a day off from the wrestlers. So what I read in the Observer here is they do it on Tuesdays, and they're literally doing like 30 to 50 of these
Wow.
for each market. So it's like, I'll see you in San Francisco. I'll see you in New Jersey.
So what? They just record that specific city?
Yeah.
So that it's like all the same promo, but then they cut. And it's like in San Francisco, in Chicago. And they just cut.
No, I
and
think
just
they do
insert?
like, no. I think they do, so they'll do one promo for San Francisco, right? That's done. Then they do another recording for like East
God.
Rutherford, New Jersey. That's done. And then Madison Square Garden, boom. So like they're doing like 30, and I'm assuming, I mean, it can't be every Tuesday. I mean, I would have to think they're doing it for like a month worth of stuff.
Right.
Because
Dude, that's a lot.
insane. Oh
Holy
yeah.
shit.
When I read that, I was like, oof. I don't know if I would want to be doing that.
I feel like on promo number 49, you'd just be brain dead. Like, what do you even say?
Well, Lex Luger would probably be brain dead on like number 4.
He just says, He just looks in the mirror and says the city name. So, like, he's in the mirror. He turns to the camera. He's like, Chicago. And then turns
He just
back
goes
in the
back.
mirror. So he's got, like, the easiest one.
Yeah, probably. Also, the payoffs for working Raw is apparently only $150, which some say doesn't even cover the expenses in New York City.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Working for free.
What is that? I wonder what the enhancement are. Is that for everybody? Like even enhancement guys? Because most of those managers are just enhancement guys.
If enhancement guys are getting $150, I'll eat my shoe right now.
And it's like if Bret Hart. So if Bret Hart's getting 150, and then Glenn Ruth is getting 150,
there's no
way.
way. I bet you enhancement guys are getting $20 and a hot dog. You got to think of it. This is a chance to be on Raw.
Right.
That's the money
alone.
enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for them to eat, there's no way they're getting paid $150 a night. There's no way.
I can't imagine that they are.
There's no way.
The WWF has been in talks with Kyoto, Tokyo, to run shows in Japan on their own, but it's likely that Hogan won't wrestle on them because he has a deal with New Japan. That would leave Bam Bam Bigelow and The Undertaker as most likely the top draws, since Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Lex Luger don't mean much in Japan.
Yeah, and you know what? It's weird because the crowd is really enamored with The Undertaker. Like, historically, when Undertaker goes to Japan, like, he's over pretty big. It's got to be, like, the mystique, I would assume. But it's very interesting that Japanese fans, they say, the notes say here that Bret, Shawn, and those guys wouldn't draw.
Is it because they're small?
I don't know.
But then I'm thinking like Jushin Liger.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Guys
I'm
like
surprised that these guys who are, out of the bunch here, the better wrestlers, technically, in the ring, the more athletic, would be not so much draws. I don't know if I believe that necessarily.
And I'm also it's kind of interesting to see like Lex Luger wouldn't be much because he did wrestle over there when he was in WCW.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there is kind of
a couple shows, yeah.
There's some
well,
exposure there.
and maybe the whole thing is with a Japanese fan, when they think an American wrestler, they don't want to see somebody like Jushin Liger. They want to see an over-the-top, bigger guy, like an American wrestler. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Maybe for them, since they do have so much good, solid technical wrestlers, that's kind of their break. To where we're the opposite. Watching Raw right here, when a young guy comes in doing all these crazy moves, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the same for them. They want to see more of like the Brodys and the Hansons and the Hogans and you know what I mean? Like they want that for their American wrestler. I guess that
like a
makes
Scott
sense.
Norton or a
Yeah.
Vader.
Yeah. Like a bigger guy, stereotypical American wrestler.
Okay, I can buy into that.
Yeah.
The WWF returns to Europe for a tour from July 29th to August 6th, with the expectation that Hogan would be headlining against Yokozuna. So they're going back to Europe again.
Probably a smart move. Although it's going to
the
get
water's going to dry out
That's
there.
what I'm thinking.
The draws there.
Yeah.
Because that's at least
If they
the
keep
second time. And they're going to go again in the winter.
Oh, for sure.
So, I guess logically that makes sense. Maybe each new season
Yeah.
As for the WWF here, they are cutting their tapings to mostly in the Northeast in small 3,000 to 5,000 seat arenas. So they're cutting back in that regard.
Oof, not a good time for the WWF.
I think the only other shows that they were doing were like in Texas and stuff like that. That's what was Florida as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go into some house shows here. And these shows both took place on June 6th, 1993. First up here we have Orlando, Florida.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. And it drew apparently about 2,700. And it featured Tito Santana taking on the Brooklyn Brawler, Razor Ramon taking on Kamala. The Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez continued their singles matches. Rick Steiner and Bob Backlund, substituting for Scott Steiner, obviously, took on the Head Shrinkers. Crush took on Doink the Clown. The Bushwhackers and Tiger Jackson met Blake Beverly, Damian Demento, and Little Louie. And in the main event, Lex Luger squared off against Bret Hart.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to that one either.
No.
Pretty weak show, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some surprising names on that card, specifically like Brooklyn Brawler, the Midgets. Like, why are they the second to last match? A lot of these matches just don't seem to have any rhyme or reason.
Yeah, no, they don't. Like Ramon Kamala, there's nothing there.
There's no heat there. Steiner Backlund, regardless of substitutes, is like not anything I want to see.
Although it would be kind of interesting to see Fatu and Samu just beat the shit out of Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
Because he'd be, whoa!
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You get Crush and Doink again. The Bushwhackers, yeah, I'm not, no. You can't sell me a ticket on that show.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm definitely skipping that one. On the same day, the WWF had a show in Albany, New York at the Knickerbocker Arena. And it drew about 3,000 fans. And the card was Papa Shango taking on Jim Powers. Tatanka met Bam Bam Bigelow. Owen Hart took on Terry Taylor. Yokozuna and Jim Duggan met in singles action. Luna Vachon took on Sensational Sherry. WWF Intercontinental Champion Marty Jannetty defended against Shawn Michaels. And in the main event, WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan teamed with Brutus the Barber Beefcake to take on the WWF Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated.
Much stronger card.
I would go to that in a heartbeat.
Completely. I mean, don't get me wrong. We still have a couple filler matches in there.
No, yeah,
But the other matches have heat.
Yeah.
So it's like you probably want to go watch those.
Tatanka Bigelow would have huge heat. Yokozuna Duggan still has it. Luna Sherry. Michael's Jannetty. The main event. I mean, everything. Like, you're definitely going to that show.
Yeah.
And it should be noted that show does have some major implications here, but we'll get into that very shortly. Syndicated notes, just a couple of things here. On the June 5th edition of Superstars, the 1-2-3 Kid turned down the $5,000 offer from Razor Ramon for yet another match. So he's playing his cards right, try to get that up there a little bit more.
Yeah, it's getting played out, though.
You're already over it.
How many times can you say no? Are the fans, like, losing interest every time he says no?
I don't know. I don't know. So, like I mentioned before, it's not really a babyface thing to be like, no.
Yeah.
That's something a heel would do. But then you can say, well, this guy's just trying to get maybe as much money as he can. How desperate...
That's still a heel thing, though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to get money out of you.
Right, but how desperate is Razor Ramon to get? So could he get like $100,000?
Right, like let's push it.
Like, why am I selling for $5,000?
Buy me your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I don't know.
On the same episode of Superstars, Bret Hart met Papa Shango in singles action, and you better believe that we watched that sucker. I feel like we're not gonna have the same thoughts on this one.
I'm probably gonna guarantee it.
Okay. Well, the match starts off with Shango working over Bret with strikes and sends him into the corner, but then misses his splash. Hart fights back with several strikes in the corner. Hart tries for a roll-up, but Shango hangs onto the ropes and soon plants Hart with a side slam. Shango bites Hart's forehead in the corner and chokes Hart with his boot. Hart almost wins the sunset flip, and at this point we go to a commercial. Shango keeps control with a chin lock, but yanks Hart back down to the mat. Hart comes off the ropes and is met with a backbreaker. Shango splashes down on Hart's lower midsection to keep control, and then he's going to use his voodoo stick, but the referee prevents him from doing so. Hart remains on the mat, being worked over, and Hart comes off the ropes to hit a drop kick. Hart atomic drops Shango, followed by a clothesline. Hart takes Shango down with a side Russian leg sweep for a 2 count. Bret leaps off the middle rope to clothesline Shango for another near fall. Shango catches Hart in the corner and delivers a shoulder breaker. Shango misses a leg drop, and Hart locks in the sharpshooter for the victory. What'd you think of Hart and Shango here on Superstars?
So I'm going to take it right from the top.
Go ahead.
First of all, Shango gets pretty much a smattering of boos. It seems very disinterested from the crowd.
Yeah, I would say the character's for sure played out.
Completely. On the other hand, when Bret's music hits, the shrieks almost automatically come in from the women. And he just looks like the man of the 90s. This is the guy right now. And Bret carries that to a T. Right. So that I appreciated. Seeing Bret here, like we talked about last week, I would really like to see Adam Bomb featured more prominently. Mm-hmm. Because we talked about him taking on maybe Marty Jannetty in the IC picture. The IC picture. But I could easily see, maybe it's like similar look, both pretty athletic, But I wouldn't mind seeing a little exhibition match between Bret Hart and Adam Bomb. I wonder how that would be. I think Bret could probably get a pretty damn good match out of the guy.
I think so.
Yeah. So I was just thinking that when Bret's coming out here, when he's in the leather with the wet hair.
Well, just because like Adam Bomb's agility alone.
Yeah, he's like an athletic guy.
Yeah, he could do some stuff with him probably.
Right. So I had that on the brain going into this. Side note here, when Bret gives his glasses away, the parents were more excited than the kid, which seems to be kind of typical. It's like the parents got the glasses on the kid, and then they like showed off the kid to the people behind them, like, haha, my kid got the glasses.
Yeah, and I also remember when he gave, I'm pretty sure it was this one. Or no, maybe it was King of the Ring. Never mind. I lied. Go ahead.
As far as the match goes, it's a typical Bret Hart working from underneath match. You know, he's obviously the underdog against the bigger guy kind of thing. And Shango was pretty much resorting to anything that would get him booed, which I thought was a little cheap. I mean, it's getting to the point where he seems kind of desperate in the ring to keep his heat, which is not good if I'm able to tell that. Also, I think that between kind of the sloppiness, like there was a lot of sloppy maneuvers on the part of Shango, just nothing really crisp. Like even the backbreaker that you talked about, Bob, it looked a little sloppy. And I couldn't help but to think that like the impressiveness of the moves was getting lost because they weren't being executed very well. So for me, coming out of this match, first of all, why is Bret having such a hard time with Papa Shango? Is my first question. I guess that's just the story Bret resorts to telling for his matches.
He's always the underdog, I guess.
Right.
But Papa Shango has like no momentum.
Like this is Bret friggin' Hart.
Yeah.
Like, he should probably be able to put this guy away with relative ease at this point. I'm also wondering how much Shango is going to last beyond this. Like for me, seeing this match, and again, I love the gimmick. The guy works. He bumps for a bigger guy, but like the whole thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the last time we saw Papa Shango in WWF.
Yeah, and the thing is though is how much can you get out of the character when, as a voodoo guy who says he can control other people or whichever, put curses on them, and it never works.
Yeah.
It never leads him to victory. So his feud with Ultimate Warrior, like he made the guy puke and stuff like that, but he never beat him.
Right.
You know, and I remember when Bret lost the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam '92, like Shango, he had like a brief feud with Shango, but Shango was like, "I put a curse on you, so that you would lose."
Right.
It's like, okay, well, why don't you put a curse on Bret so you can beat him? Nothing happened.
Well, is it funny that I'm thinking you want to get Shango back with the crowd? Have him try to put curses on people, but they always backfire. They always make him lose.
That would be a comedy thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Just do that. Because him being a serious character right now, dude, is not working.
It doesn't work.
It's not working. It's falling so flat.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This match, with what it was, I was surprised to see the submission victory. Like, okay, this big voodoo guy pretty much was like, I give up.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that either.
Yeah, that was weird.
Obviously he's lost to Bret numerous times, probably by submission, but
yeah,
it is kind of weird to see that.
It's weird. So, bar none, bottom line, coming off of this, bell rings, we get the celebration with Bret. He gets a full celebration as if he just won the friggin' WWF Championship. But, all things considered, I was left wanting more of Bret and a lot less of Papa Shango.
Well, I guess you're going to be shocked when I say I kind of enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah. And I know you're talking about crispness of the movies.
It was just, yeah.
I don't think that's really supposed to be how Shango's being presented.
No, but at the same time, when you get the WWF product, you just expect something more from these guys.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Shango is a good worker at this point, but it seems like any time that he works with Bret Hart in the last 2 years, that Bret gets a good match out of him. So all the credit goes to Bret for the entertainment level that I got out of it.
That's probably fair.
It's like a 6-minute match anyway.
Yeah,
it's not really that big of a deal. But
right.
though, when you're talking about ways of getting Shango back, maybe into some interest here. What if you take him off TV for the year or the rest of the year, and then in the next angle, like those voodoo dolls or something?
Yeah.
What if like randomly you see Shango with a doll of somebody, and he's putting like needles in them?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see who it is, but let's say in a match or whatever. I'm trying to think of a top like Marty Jannetty or something basic like that. Like Marty Jannetty's like fighting Scott Taylor or something.
Sure.
And suddenly he's like, "Oh, my shoulder hurts."
Right.
And like, "Oh, my knee hurts."
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, what the hell?" And then Shango comes out like during the match. He's just poking the knee. And he's like, "Ah," something stupid like that.
That would be interesting. I like that idea. I feel like we're past that point though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I don't.
We're past that
if they had done that earlier,
January even, to where he was
Yeah.
still a little something.
yeah,
That would have been, put that as a TV feud with somebody.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
it would
what
have
I'm
been great. But as far as just the character itself, because if say you return him like you just said, with that same gimmick, same thing, maybe he's a little bit more aggressive. I still give it 2 months and it's flat again. It's just, we've seen what we're going to see with Shango at this point.
Now I'm thinking like do it with like Crush.
Oh my God.
Like Crush, oh cold. I'm like, oh my shoulder.
Oh, brother. Oh.
Am I having a heart stroke? Just Papa Shango.
With Crush might be interesting.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. That was just a rough idea.
That's a cool idea, though. I like it.
I believe, though, this is probably one of the last times that we see Shango. I know that he's also working for the USWA at the time.
Okay.
And I believe he was actually,
Same gimmick?
that's Papa
okay.
Shango.
Yeah.
At the time, like USWA and WWF, they were sharing talent.
I was going to say, that's a trademark. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, because, Lawler's in WWF now.
Sure.
They're definitely working something out. But I believe he was also the USWA champion
Oh.
at this point.
Oh.
So, needless to say, business wasn't strong in the USWA.
Yeah.
All right, so coming out of that, so we go to now the June 7th edition of Raw,
Raw 20.
and we are live from the Manhattan Center in Manhattan, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we start off the program with the ring announcer introducing the new WWF Intercontinental Champion, Shawn Michaels, and we go right into a Raw opening video.
So he says this,
Yes.
right? Shawn comes out. I literally exited the video, and I thought that I spoiled something. Like,
Right.
oh my God, what did I just skip like 4 shows?
Wait, you really did? You were like, oh, shit.
I had to check the date of the King of the Ring. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
I literally thought I picked the wrong video to watch.
Yeah.
So, it's like, so I click back in and it's like, okay, how are they going to explain this one to me? Because Marty just fucking won that belt.
Yeah, what, 3 weeks ago?
Has it even been that long?
Yeah, it went on May 17th. So 24-31-7, so about 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
Not even definitely not a month.
Yeah, dude, I literally turned the video off. I was like, oh shit, I just spoiled a future episode. Hey, no, this is the right one. This is the right one.
Yeah, that is in reference, of course, to the Albany house show that I just talked about. Because on that show, Shawn Michaels won the Intercontinental Championship from Marty Jannetty. After the Raw opening video, Michaels is with the commentary team and introduces his insurance policy, also known as his bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't reveal the man's name.
No name.
He, I believe he's wearing like dark shades and like a workout jumpsuit thing.
Yeah, he looks like he's off the set of a Globo Gym commercial.
Oh, it's so good.
From like fucking dodgeball.
Yeah.
Like he's in the background of Globo Gym.
I was trying to think of a good comparison and I just couldn't think of one.
Yeah,
That's
so it's like a black full tracksuit windbreaker
a windbreaker, yes.
with I think it was like seafoam green, purple, and white
Yes.
stripes on it.
Yep.
It was fucking horrible.
It's definitely a 90s thing. Like late 80s.
Oh my God, dates it so bad.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at this guy, I'm automatically thinking, sorry, Kevin Nash, but this is Shawn Michaels' boy toy. In this outfit, standing there, big dude, greased back hair. Like, they're probably hooking up in the back. Like, that's what I thought immediately. And it doesn't get any better, folks, because wait till we get to next week's outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, holy shit, they ain't doing themselves no favors here.
We're certainly not spoiling anything in regards to this. It would be the debut on television of Diesel. And Diesel did make an appearance at the Albany house show, and he cost Jannetty the match. So
Okay.
we're not spoiling anything with who it is, and you probably already know who it is anyway. Opening contest for the evening is WWF Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels taking on Russ Greenberg. Have you ever heard of Russ Greenberg?
He's been on an episode before, hasn't he?
I have no idea.
I think he has.
He might be. What do you got on the match here?
So, heading out of the moment, so from the ringside interview, I feel like this is kind of the moment where Shawn becomes the Shawn he's going to be for the next couple of years. You know, loud, really confident, cocky, and in the ring, really, really good. You know, I feel like this is when Diesel comes in and Shawn gets the pull to bring Diesel in, this is a turning point for his career. Like, we just came off the heels of a lackluster reign as champion, I would say.
His run there as IC champ.
Yeah, kind of lackluster, I think.
He was all right.
This is the point where I think we're going to crank the volume up to 11 with Shawn Michaels, and going from here to, let's say, WrestleMania 10 as his debutant ball of Shawn Michaels, the showstopper Shawn Michaels. I think this is one of the moments where it really, the fire lights right here.
So you think the bodyguard really kind of makes him feel like as if he's a big deal?
I think it gives him kind of the boost he needs. Not necessarily in kayfabe, but backstage. Like, okay, now I definitely have this guy in my corner, you know. Not just in front of the TV screen, but behind the TV screen, too. And I just feel like I can see it on Shawn. Something has changed with him. This moment, when we see him on Raw right here. Even the way he's interacting with the interviewers, and how before his character I felt was very, very forced. Like, this is probably not how this guy really is. To whereas this moment when he keeps interrupting Vince and he's yelling and he's in your face, this is who I feel like Shawn is. This is the real Shawn coming out a little bit more. Instead of the heartbreak kid, boy toy type of thing. I feel like this is more of him. So I'm liking it. Yeah. I liked it right off the bat.
I definitely got a different vibe.
Really?
I got no, not a different vibe from you. I'm saying a different vibe compared to what we have gotten before from him.
Oh, so you think you can kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even I don't even know. I don't really pay attention as much as you do to attire and stuff like that, but it seemed as if he's getting more into the attire that we're more accustomed to see him wearing and stuff like that.
Yes.
He seems like he's getting in better shape as well.
Yep.
He's not as
the mullet
thick.
isn't as pronounced either, I feel like. I feel like he's trying to move away a little bit. Yeah.
I've been this outing here as we continue on, I definitely got a different vibe from him.
Yes. Yeah. So going into the match, like you asked me originally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shawn controlled the whole match. He slammed the youngster down repeatedly to kind of prove a point. I feel like Shawn was being pretty aggressive in this match.
Like he was just more intense.
Yes.
That's what I was.
And more kind of on point with things. He backs the guy up and was lighting him up with some really, really quick jabs. And he finished with kind of a shaky, stalling suplex with his kind of offensive flurry there that he had. So it was the jabs, and then the suplex. And I think it was the guy who was being a little heavy on him, so he was having a hard time. But nonetheless, he held him up for a while, and it was still pretty impressive. Moving from that, the commentators made note that they had no idea who the bodyguard was. Okay, obviously. But he sure was big. Like that was their selling point for this guy. So okay, great. We got another big guy heel.
That's such an in-depth thing.
You know?
He's tall.
He's big. So I was like, that kind of sucks. I feel like they're already kind of writing him off as just another big guy. You Regardless, Greenberg back in the ring was able to pick up a bit of steam, but was cut off quickly with a twisting neck breaker and a pretty devastating looking pile driver for the finish. Was not expecting a pile driver for a finish, especially for Shawn Michaels. I feel like he's still kind of grasping at straws as far as what he wants his actual finishing moves to be.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, because I feel like it changes kind of every week.
Well, the teardrop suplex was lame.
Completely.
Which is
For
essentially
Shawn
just
Michaels,
a back suplex.
No.
And then a pile driver doesn't really...
That's not Shawn.
No.
That's not
That's
Shawn.
like a Jerry Lawler thing
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
But I want to know, before he did the pile driver, he did his eventual trademark elbow drop, but from the middle rope.
Yeah, it was like the second rope.
Yeah, he didn't do it from the top.
That was weird too.
Yeah.
Well, because Savage even makes me, hey, where do you think he got that from? You know.
Right.
So, nonetheless, it was a pretty good showing for Shawn. Again, he was really aggressive the whole match, which was a nice change of pace because I feel like usually Shawn's just kind of flopping around and not really on point. Like I said, on
it's
point.
like usually a slow pace too.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot of stalling or whatever.
Yeah, it was like Shawn wasn't getting paid by the hour for this one. He was gonna whoop this dude's ass and make it quick and make it look like, okay, this is a different Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You know, he was out to prove a point tonight, I think. And personally, I think it came off pretty well. To finish out, to kind of close out the segment, Shawn kisses the belt, taunts with it, and again, the bodyguard outside still makes no movement. So I'm surprised we didn't see, for his television debut, a little something after the match. You know, I'm going to pick him up, and it's like, maybe I'll punch this, or, you know, rough the guy up a little bit, and Shawn's got to kind of pull him away. Like, no, it's all right, man. We took care of it. Maybe he's got like a little more of a mean streak than Shawn even. I would have liked that.
Yeah, he didn't. He played no part in it.
No, he did nothing.
He just stood there.
Yeah, he did nothing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think for this character kind of made sense. Like, if it was Mr. Hughes, okay. He doesn't really need to do anything. I think Diesel kind of does, because we don't know who you are.
Well, you know, and maybe it would be a better idea just because, I mean, realistically, Michaels doesn't need him.
No.
So maybe
No.
in terms, like in the match, or whatever. But if maybe if Diesel here kind of shows his worth in a more featured match at first. So like when Michaels is in trouble, you know, and then he does it. You know, insurance policy, you know,
It's paying off.
Right.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I agree. I thought that was a little weird. I think they kind of dropped the ball with him on that one, but I guess for a debut, for a quote-unquote bodyguard, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't really think it was that great of a squash match or anything.
No, I don't think so necessarily either.
It was just there.
Yeah.
Although I do think that Michaels as a champion is probably the right direction.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know if Jannetty as champion has a lot of legs.
I'm kind of bummed, to be honest, because I was ready to give Marty, like, another chance. But maybe that's the problem with Marty Jannetty. He gets too many chances.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is even in the matches or the one title defense that he had against Bigelow, he's not presented as a guy that can win.
No.
Anyway.
No.
It's always like the heel's got to make a mistake or he gets counted out or whatever. It's just, he's not being presented very strong.
Right.
Coming out of that match, we go to, I guess, our last King of the Ring report, and it's with Mean Gene as usual. We are 6 days away from the pay-per-view event from Dayton, Ohio. WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan will be defending against Yokozuna, and then Gene also promotes the King of the Ring tournament, which will feature Bret Hart against Razor Ramon in the first round, Mr. Perfect against Mr. Hughes, Jim Duggan taking on Bam Bam Bigelow, and Tatanka taking on Lex Luger. Gene also notes that Shawn Michaels and Crush had a match on Superstars about, you know, to get in the King of the Ring or whatever, and neither man won. So they were going to wrestle at King of the Ring as like a special bonus match. Well, don't worry, they're still wrestling at the King of the Ring, but now it will be for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. You don't think Crush deserves it?
Fuck no. I was pissed. I was like, oh my God.
I would think
Come
Shawn and
on.
Jannetty is the obvious direction.
On the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They just lost the belt on a fucking house show.
Right.
Why are they not having a rematch between Shawn and Jannetty on the fucking pay-per-view?
It makes no sense.
Why?
To me. They are obsessed with. They must be obsessed with getting Crush over.
Well, I'm fucking sick of it. I don't like Crush. Fire Crush.
I was on
Hashtag Fire Crush.
like, you know, I was on the Crush train back in like February. I have jumped off the train for Crush.
I was hoping that train derailed and didn't come back to the station.
He's just not. It's the way they're presenting him. There's no way that you can realistically even get behind the guy.
Unless you're a woman or 10 years old or under.
That's like their demographic.
Well,
in terms of kids.
Well, he still gets cheered.
Not that much, though.
Which blows my mind.
Not that big.
Not
at this point.
compared to a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But why are people even still fucking cheering for
Because it's the way you're programmed.
No.
You could have a guy murder another wrestler and be a heel, and then if they decide, hey, we'll make him a good guy the next week, people are like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, we like you now. Because like, oh, they're telling us we have to like you.
Fucking
That's what they do.
Fucking A.
Well, your reaction is pretty much the same thing that Shawn Michaels had, but he's fucking pissed because he comes back out and he confronts Vince McMahon at the commentary table, and he's just like, "Why do I gotta wrestle Crush? Are you mad because you're jealous of me? Like I didn't get any time to celebrate being a 2-time champion, and now I have to gotta defend against this guy, the King of the Ring." And Michaels lets him know that himself and his bodyguard aren't going to back down from anyone. This felt like one of those things where kind of, not like a foreshadowing or anything, but something similar to what we would get years from now. With the Austin thing, like the anti-authority.
The edge is there.
Yeah.
And for Shawn to come out and directly interact with Vince McMahon, like questioning a booking, was pretty ahead of its time.
Yes.
For 1993.
Now, it's not really, it's known, obviously, that Vince McMahon is
the owner.
Yes. But he doesn't make that known
not at all.
As he's on commentary.
Not at all. Not at all. He plays as if it's Jack Tunney's show, and I'm just the guy at the table.
But it's funny because in all those charity videos or whatever, it's like the owner of the WWF is Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. But in terms of storylines, he's just like, I'm just a guy that talks.
This was kind of a moment where the curtain's kind of half off the statue here, and Shawn comes out and rips the curtain down, and it's like, okay, let's be for real here. Yeah. Why is this match happening? You're jealous of me. Like, he literally says, "What is your problem with me?" to Vince McMahon. So, if this isn't Stone Cold and Vince before Stone Cold and Vince, I don't know what it is.
Like a little tease of it.
Yeah.
It's not as extreme as what that would be eventually become.
No, but it's like such a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
Because, and who better than Shawn to do it? I mean, that's perfect.
I think a guy like Razor would be in a better role. Like
do ya?
Yeah, because he's just like the ruthless mafia guy kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Shawn,
like the Cuban, like I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, Shawn's always kind of been like the pretty boy, but like begging off type of thing. So it was weird to see that intensity.
He's like a temper tantrum kind of thing.
Yeah. But the intensity though could be contributed to. Well, I know I got backup.
Exactly.
In my insurance.
I know I have pull because let's not forget here, people. Shawn basically saw this dude on WCW TV.
Literally, it's
was
Vinny
like,
Vegas.
I like him. Let's hire him. Got the bug in the office ear, and then they brought him in like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, because what's the story? He saw him on like Saturday night, and he's like, "Oh, that guy's big and can
they
move."
always would get kicked. They watched him. They watched him for a little while, and they'd get a kick out of him. Like they thought he was funny
because of the accent and stuff.
Yeah, the accent, and he would like blow on dice and pretend he's rolling dice, and like just being Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of lit a light on for Shawn Michaels. And I think that's how it kind of progressed. Like they brought him in that way.
Yeah, isn't the story like he got in contact with Nash, and Nash had like just re-signed with WCW, and he told Dusty Rhodes, the booker at the time, I think it was, or somebody, Bill Watts maybe, and he's just like, I think I don't want to do wrestling anymore.
He's gonna go back and bounce.
Yeah,
like, I'm going back to bouncing.
Oh, okay,
man. I'm
and
coming
then,
off the road.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, like, well, all right, here's your release, and then 14 days later, he's back on thing, and it's funny because this happens, and I think he's on like WCW Worldwide like that weekend. So like this coming up weekend. It's like, oh, here's Diesel, but here he is as Vinny Vegas. Like fighting Van Hammer or some shit. It's like, okay. Yeah. That stuff cracks me up.
So yeah, I think it's a little mixture of both for Shawn right now. So yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That leads us to our second match of the night, and it is the newly debuted Adam Bomb. Okay. And he is taking on El Matador Tito Santana.
What kind of fucking pairing and terrible clash of styles was this?
Yes.
Horrible.
You know, Papa Shango is obviously on his last legs, but why Tito Santana by summer of '93 is still on television?
So okay, wait.
I know he was in the King of the Ring qualifying match and stuff like that, but it's just so weird.
So let's back it up a little bit.
I like Tito though. Go ahead.
Here's what I would have done. This is what I would have done. You take Tito Santana, have him have the match with Sean. Let Sean beat Tito Santana to open the show.
Okay.
Right? Take the other fucking job guy, whatever, Greenberg or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Russ Greenberg.
Insert him here and let Adam Bomb fucking destroy him. Why is Adam Bomb fighting Tito Santana?
That would make a lot more sense, and plus, I mean, I could imagine on commentary, they could be like, well, Tito's a former Intercontinental champion himself. He wrestled Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 8.
Exactly.
Rematch, title match,
Exactly.
whatever.
Exactly.
No, that probably would make more sense.
Sean needed that more than Adam Bomb does, and not to mention, it's like a really, really dated wrestler versus like this new. We don't even know anything really about Adam. The clash of styles here was so. It's El Matador versus Adam Bomb. Like what?
Yeah.
Horrible booking.
Yeah, I know.
Horrible.
I don't know if it's horrible, but
I hated it.
Your idea there though would make much more sense.
Yeah.
So it's noted here, or shown, I guess, on camera, that Adam Bomb is sporting yellow eyes this time. I don't think it was mentioned the first time.
I don't know if they did it the first time. Did they do it the first time?
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did either.
So he has yellow eyes to really kind of, I guess, show focus here that from the explosion.
He's radioactive.
Radioactive, yeah.
I'll tell you what, as corny and stupid as it is, I liked it. I thought it added to his look.
They should have done it the first time, though.
I know.
Because what has changed in a week?
Right.
Or
Did
whatever.
he go dip himself in a vat of fucking ooze?
Yeah.
And like, now I'm... Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a weird thing to add to the character.
It was a little late. Yeah, it was a couple weeks late on that one.
Yeah, McMahon, I think, called him diseased eyes.
Yes.
Like, look at those diseased eyes. It's just...
Which, if this guy's supposed to be a big, strong, tough guy, and you're saying he has diseased eyes, well, then what, he's sick and weak?
Yeah, that's what...
Like,
yeah,
what?
usually if your eyes are yellow, you're like, oh, my liver's killing me.
Yeah,
Like, it's
and you're
really
getting,
weak.
like, radioactive, like, material on you. That's usually not a good thing.
No, yeah.
Does it make you stronger? Like,
No.
this isn't a superhero.
Yeah. So I think there's just a misguided way of presenting this character.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Early on into the segment here, a match, Heenan makes a joke on commentary that Tito's mother farted at the dinner table and considered that to be a bomb that she laid. Like that. Well, that was an atom bomb. Let me tell you, something like that.
Okay.
I just thought I'd point that out because that's just kind of corny stuff. But I mean, it made me chuckle when I heard him say it.
Well, that's kind of burying Adam Bomb because you basically called him a fart from Tito's mother.
No, that like Tito, like he was like talking about. I think he was talking about like, an atom bomb that I remember was Tito's mom ripping
my
one at the dinner
God.
table.
That was an Atom Bomb, let me tell
Yeah,
ya.
something around those lines.
Oh my God. Leave it to friggin' Bobby.
Yeah, definitely knows how to get over a match here.
Yeah.
Bomb works over Tito with strikes, and then he snap power slam, but misses a few elbow drop attempts. Before I continue here, that is such a routine spot here.
Overplayed.
Where they continuously miss an elbow drop to like get momentum going for the face or something. It's just
You miss one, okay, fine. You
3.
miss 2, like, now you look stupid, just kick the guy.
right.
Then you miss 3, and it's like, okay, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like what are you doing? I don't even know if I would go for it again if I missed the first one.
I'd go for a second one. If I miss the second one, I'm standing up, I'm faking like I'm going to drop it, and then I just fucking kick the guy. Like, why would you drop another one?
I don't even know if I would drop an elbow. I think I would just kick him in the head.
Yeah. Right.
Bomb misses a splash in the corner, and Tito takes him over with an arm drag. Bomb fights back with a shoulder strikes against the ropes. Santana almost wins the match with a sunset flip, but Bomb cuts him off with a throat thrust. Bomb continues with some basic strikes and then drives Tito into the corner face first. Bomb plants Santana with a side slam, and then they trade strikes until Santana hits a leaping forearm for a near fall. Again, that is his technically Santana's finishing move that he is yet to win with here in 93. Tito hammers away on Bomb and then follows up with his standing drop kick. Bomb avoids a roll-up, and Santana hits the mat pretty hard. Tito is selling the back of his head following that spot. So Bomb goes to the apron, and he waits there for a couple of seconds, and he hits a slingshot clothesline to hit Tito on the back of his head, and that leads to the 3 count. What did you think of Adam Bomb and Tito?
All right, so again, I don't like this pairing. It just didn't make sense to me. With that said, the action did stay pretty quick between the two. It was a quick little match. Side note, Bobby, going back to commentary, says that he'd be willing to mortgage his property on the narcissist winning the King of the Ring. I agree. I believe that the narcissist is going to win the King of the Ring. But it kind of showed me that, okay, Adam Bomb's been here, 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, just about.
They're not even talking about him. I think they're talking about King Ring. He's getting basically overlooked. Didn't like that. With that said, I thought the finisher was cool.
Really?
I think it's kind of a ripoff of like Pillman's little jumping clothesline thing. Of course, Pillman does it way fucking better. Because when Adam Bomb goes to do it, he clotheslines Tito, but he almost spikes his own head into the mat.
Yeah, because he twists weird.
Yeah, so do I think that Adam Bomb should be doing that finisher? No. But is it a cool finisher for I don't know, somebody else? Yeah, I could believe that is a nice little finisher. I thought his power bomb that we've seen a couple times is plenty because he goes down with it and it looks impactful.
Yeah.
So why not do that to Tito here? Again, I think they're just unsure with kind of like Sean. What is this dude's finishing move? I don't know. Let's test some shit out.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the power bomb.
Completely, I agree.
The slingshot is impressive for his for being such a big guy, showing the agility, but the power bomb has to be the go-to move.
His name's Adam Bomb.
Right.
Power bomb.
And it is kind of weird.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it is kind of weird to see a guy so big doing a slingshot thing, because that should be something like the kid's doing.
Oh yeah.
Like a smaller guy should be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he should be relying on his power, not his agility.
Right. So I like the move. Just for Adam Bomb, no. I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah, and then I also didn't really like that Bomb kind of struggled with Tito, considering Tito's 45.
Yeah.
And Adam Bomb's probably 28 or something, 26.
Yeah. Well, that just goes back to awkward pairing.
Yeah.
Why are these two? Again, put a fucking PJ Walker in there or a Scott Taylor. Give this dude somebody to work with so you can make him look like how he's supposed to look.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm still interested in Adam Bomb.
Oh, me too.
You know,
me too. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
but again, if you keep this shit up, it ain't gonna be good. You're gonna ruin him. Don't ruin him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Coming out of the match, here we go to a King of the Ring 1993 promotional video highlighting the match between Hogan and Yokozuna.
Snore.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really entice me to buy the pay-per-view or anything.
It's, again, going back to what we said last week. They're begging you to care about this match. Please care about this match.
Yeah.
And the more you beg me, the more I do not care about this match.
You gotta believe in Hulkamania against the mighty Yokozuna.
I don't give a fuck. I care about the tournament.
The tournament, yes.
That's it.
Hogan and Yoko, I'm not...
I don't even care about the IC match. Take that off the card.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah, the King of the Ring tournament is the draw for that show. There's no doubt about it.
Real quick, so the King of the Ring video itself on the network is 2 hours, 40 minutes. You could probably cut off 40 minutes of both of those matches. Just cut them off, delete them. There you go. That's a good show.
Yeah, just
cut those off.
literally keep it to just the tournament. Anything that's non-tournament related just
doesn't matter.
Doesn't need to be on there.
Nope.
Yeah, I agree with that. Coming out of the promotional video, we get our third contest of the evening. It is Tatanka taking on Peter Weeks. And Peter Weeks kind of looks like Peter Griffin.
No, you know what I had? He looks like a fat Danny McBride. You know Danny McBride from Eastbound and Down, Tropic Thunder? Like, that's who he looks like.
Oh, no, yeah. I guess, like, physically, yeah. Like
the face?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I thought of it immediately. I was like, holy shit.
No, that is pretty funny.
His body is definitely Peter Griffin, though.
That's what I was,
Completely.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, he is easily the worst physically, like, shaped person for enhancement talent we've seen so far.
Yeah, which, again, I felt that they were moving away from. Don't get me wrong, his gear was good. He had, like, a singlet, like, long tights, decent little boots. So he didn't necessarily dress like a schmuck. He was just in the shape of a schmuck.
Right.
You know. But, yeah, I thought we were done with that. I guess not.
Yeah.
And poor Tatanka, like, that's the last thing he needs.
I was just going to say.
Is a fucking fat shit to fight.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Peter Weeks, but, like, fuck you. I'm just stop.
No,
Be a short order cook at a diner and stay out of the WWF.
You know, steal some of the food before you take it out.
Right. You're testing the soups of the day.
They're not going to know if I take an egg roll.
Right. Right. I'm going to bite half of your sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, and call it the skinny menu.
You don't need 4 cheese breads. I'll eat one of them.
Right. So just stop.
That's hilarious.
This guy came from catering. Like, they found him in catering. He was standing behind with the little chef hat on, stains on his apron, and they threw a fucking singlet on him and said, "Get out there, kid, and make a star of yourself."
You're giving him a character idea right now.
Yeah.
Here's an evil chef that will eat your food before it comes to you. I'm going to spit in it. How is
Peter
that?
Weeks looks like he ate a couple years. Not weeks, years. Okay.
Oh, boy. All right, well, let's get into the match here. Tatanka hip tosses Weeks over the top to the floor. And it is mentioned at this point that Bret Hart is leading a voting by the fans that he'll win the King of the Ring tournament, while Tatanka is coming in as a close second. I doubt he's a close second, if he is even in second.
Yeah, and we'll touch this again, but the whole when they bring in the rankings thing from like the voting, I do have some comments to make on that.
Okay.
Because they do mention it again.
All right. Weeks drives Tatanka into the corner, face first, and then that leads to the war dance. Mind you, that is the only offense Weeks has, and Tatanka's already doing like a Hulkamania Hulk up.
Well, and not to mention, too, so Weeks does a weak chop to Tatanka, and I'm thinking, no the fuck, you did not just do that. Because as soon as he cracks the door open a little bit, Tatanka opens the floodgates and starts lighting this motherfucker up with chops aplenty. Like, why would you chop Tatanka? And why would you give him a weak fucking chop? Because now he's going to give you 10 of them, and they're going to hurt like a son of a bitch and be real loud.
He's got to earn that 150.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's got to take that punishment.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Tatanka does his little war dance, dances around, chops Weeks, as you noted, and then he hits an overhand chop for the victory.
Ugh.
That's just a match. To me. Just to give Tatanka a win before he goes into the King of the Ring.
I mean, I guess.
Nothing going on here.
You know, and the whole thing is, so this Peter Weeks guy, on every lift or anything where, you know, involved him going in the air, it looked like he wasn't helping Tatanka at all. Not at all. Because Tatanka even hits like a back body drop on this motherfucker, and it looked heavy as hell.
It looked. I don't think I mentioned it, but I think it kind of looks like he like rolls over his shoulders.
Yeah, he's
like, he doesn't get any
sandbagged.
lift.
No, he's sandbagged the fuck out of him. This dude looked like, 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag getting thrown over Tatanka's shoulder. So, I thought it would have been more beneficial for Tatanka to come out. Don't even have like a full-fledged match. You know, maybe the bell doesn't even ring. Have him chop this dude, light him up, and then have him just scurry to the back holding his chest or something, and let Tatanka dance around. Like, that dude didn't even want to have a match with him because we didn't even want to see the match with them. You know, do something like that. There was no reason this needed to be a match. No reason.
Yeah, I mean, Tatanka is still my guy. Maybe a little less now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing really going on.
Peter Weeks is, of course, going to go on to, spoiler alert, win the King of the Ring tournament. And basically beat Hogan in a best of 10 matches. And he's going to win 9 of them. So, it's just like overkill.
All under 4 minutes. It's incredible.
Completely. Yeah.
So going out of the Tatanka match, we get our usual WWF Mania ad, which I don't think it had Todd Pettengill, though, right? They just talk about it?
Yeah, they just talked about it.
Yeah, and that will feature Tatanka taking on Mr. Hughes in a exclusive match for Mania.
Oh.
So, better tune into that one.
Ooh, I'm going to get up nice and early on Saturday for that one.
Well, yeah. They didn't even mention, like, oh, these two guys are in the King of the Ring.
No, it's just a match.
Just a match.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Continuing on with the trend here of Tatanka, he gets the ICOPRO ad.
You've got to want it.
That's all he says. He doesn't even say ICOPRO, you've got to want it. You got to want it.
And in this video, dude, he looks fucking jacked. He looks like he's more jacked than, like, Luger does.
Steroids are a hell of a thing. Let me tell you.
It's that ICOPOD. It's the listening to the ICOPOD that just juices
Swells
the
you up.
blood in the muscles. Like, forget ICOPRO. It's ICOPOD that he's on.
Maybe we'll get him out here one of these days.
I hope so.
How did you feel about this match? This is good. He's a good worker.
You've got to want
You
it.
got to want it. And then we also get a WWF Figures ad. Same old nonsense.
Power the Macho Man.
Virgil!
He goes so quick.
Yeah, it's like...
The
Yeah.
audacity of IRS. So fucking fast.
Yeah, what is it for Virgil? Like, the lightning hands of Virgil. It's like, whoa, man.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the fuck?
He literally does the commercial in 20 seconds. They were
Yeah.
probably, Macho Man, you gotta slow down. We can't even understand you.
I bet you they're probably like, all right, Macho, you got 30 seconds. Like, I'll do it in 20. And they're like, you did it in 18. Like, what the hell?
Sold separately, ticket. It's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
What did you even just say?
Who are the figures? Because like, it's changed, obviously, because like Bulldog's not anymore. So I know it's him, Hogan, IRS,
Yes.
Virgil. There's another one.
Mr. Perfect.
Is it perfect?
I'm pretty sure it's Mr.
Okay.
Perfect.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
It's just it's just fucking to me.
It's perfect.
Coming out of the ads here, we got Jerry Lawler coming out, and he welcomes everyone to King's Court. I believe this is the first edition on Raw, but it has been on syndication, as he had Giant Gonzalez on Superstars a couple weeks ago, I believe. He knows that everyone is sick and tired of listening to guys like Randy Savage and Vince McMahon, and he considers New York City to be the rotten apple.
Boo.
He isn't going to get upset with the Burger King chants. And then Lawler mentions that he saw a cockroach walking the streets.
Yeah, he says that's the most common house pet in New York City, the cockroach.
Yeah.
Which, he's probably not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, is he really a heel if he's just speaking truths? I don't know. His guest this week will be the next WWF World Champion, Yokozuna, which will happen right after a commercial break.
Stupid. Because you know they just cut the camera, and he's probably just berating the crowd.
Absolutely.
Because even when they cut back in, he's still kind of mumbling on the mic, so you know that's what he just did.
It
was,
would
like,
be
stupid.
it would be kind of funny if he just sat there for 3 minutes not saying a word.
Come on. Tell me that wouldn't get heat.
Just
You're
silent.
just fucking getting...
I ain't talking to you unless the camera's on.
You're getting pissed. Like, that's what I would have done.
Yeah. So we return, and Lawler has 2 young Japanese women, also known as geishas. And they have flowers. And then here comes Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji. As per usual, Yokozuna's giving the flowers. They do their bowing and stuff like that. Fuji goes and puts the flowers down.
Yeah, I feel like he just throws them on the ground.
That's
Like,
really
fuck you.
off
I
the
don't
camera.
even
He's just
want
like,
this.
well, I don't.
Yeah.
It's fake anyway. It doesn't matter. Lawler apologizes for the behavior of the fans chanting for Hogan, and then Lawler talks about Hogan's movie career and how he'll be in the next Frankenstein movie, and they won't have to use any makeup on him.
Oh, shit.
God, I love that Lawler humor. Fuji puts over how much Yokozuna weighs, and that he's eating 15 to 20 meals each day, a lot of rice. Fuji is going to have Yokozuna come off the top rope and squash Hulkamania and stuff like that. And then Fuji wants to see Hogan's mouth foaming and every bone break. And then we actually hear from Yokozuna as he chimes in and says, Hogan, you will go Duh.
Boo. So real quick here, because King's kind of putting over the 505 weight limit, right? And Fuji just cuts him out. No, he's 550 pounds. And King's like, wait, he's 550 pounds? He's like, yeah. And then I think Fuji said something about him eating 100 pounds of food a day.
Yeah, no, that's what the 15 to 20 meals a day is about.
But he only gained 50 pounds.
Right.
So if he's eating 100 pounds a day,
You're taking 50-pound shits.
gotta be.
100%.
Gotta be.
How does Yokozuna even sit on a fucking toilet? Let me tell
He sits on two.
I mean, how?
You imagine
His
that?
entire ass engulfs the toilet, right?
He's got.
How does he not break them?
The only thing sitting on the toilet is his like ass crack and hole. Like the cheeks are flapped over on the sides of the toilet, and like in order to flush, he just has got to move his back a little bit, and it like flushes the toilet.
I don't understand.
How's he going in a stall?
That's what I was just thinking about. Like at the arenas,
Like going in a stall and taking a shit.
They probably have to remove the siding for him to even fit in there.
Or maybe the handicap stall.
I guess.
Even usually the toilet's really close to the wall.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's in the middle of the wall with a bunch of space around it.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty close to the wall.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a weird. I'm sure all the
Maybe
listeners.
shit in the urinals. That could have worked.
Maybe he just wears a fucking diaper.
It's like a little shoot diaper. Like that's what really it is.
Yeah, it's like not a sumo outfit. That's his fucking diaper.
Maybe that's why the bonsai is so effective, because he's literally smearing his shit on you.
God.
Into a little egg roll.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's so
disgusting.
this whole little thing, I it's so sad to see where we've ended here with Yoko compared to where he was before. King's Court here, I don't think did them any favors. I have a very tough time, especially the last couple of times we've seen him, even understanding what Mr. Fuji's saying. It's just very like jumbled.
They need an American spokesperson.
Something. They need something, because like the Fuji thing, it's like it's something's not working here.
I think they need an American spokesperson who may enjoy tennis.
Might hold her a racket.
Yeah.
Might be from Kentucky.
Maybe.
That might be a good idea.
Might have like glasses, kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Something like that might work.
Kind of
Who knows?
a corny sort of dude. Anyway, there was kind of a redeeming thing here for King's Court. Every couple of minutes, they would do like an extreme close-up of Yoko's eyes. So while either Fuji and King was talking or King was talking, the camera would just slowly pan in on Yoko's eyes. And I did like that. I feel like it was kind of helping you be reminded, hey, this is still the guy who like killed Jim Duggan, defeated Bret Hart at WrestleMania, like killed all those jobbers for all those months. Like this is don't forget about that. Like this guy's still dangerous.
Right.
Even though like we're really cobbing it up lately, this guy's still dangerous. And I appreciated that.
Well, kind of a random observation here, but you know how Virgil sucked in the last forever?
Yeah.
Well, I think I know why, and I think it's partly because of Yokozuna.
Why do you say
And
that?
you're going to say, yeah, exactly. You're going to be like, why do you say that? Well, at the Survivor Series 92, and I just recently saw this, like a clip or something, I can't remember where.
Okay.
Yokozuna did a bonsai drop on Virgil. Okay.
Okay.
But it was not one where he just sits down. It's like one where he has to jump off of the middle rope backwards, and he like killed Virgil. And
I would like to see that.
And I think at that particular time, all of Virgil's wrestling ability left his body. So,
he smushed it out of him.
yeah. So it's not like a ghost of Virgil. It's the ghost of any of his wrestling ability that he learned over 2 years.
Oh.
Just whoosh,
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Because like he's forgotten how to wrestle,
Right.
and it's because Yokozuna.
Play that into a gimmick.
I was gonna say that should be
Amnesia.
an angle.
The guy don't know how to wrestle.
Yokozuna sat in my fucking chest after jumping on me, and like,
How do I drive?
am I Bill Cosby now? Like, I don't know what's going
What
on.
do I do?
Yeah, how do you do it?
Where do I live?
I saw that. I was like, holy fuck, he did not try to protect him at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. Lastly, I would like to note that a little King a Kingism. King says that Hogan is going to be smashed so flat that they'll be able to send him home in an envelope. I liked that.
You did? Like,
I
for
liked,
real?
yeah, I liked that.
Lawler's humor is so hit or miss.
Well, that's the thing.
'Cause
Every
it's
once
like
in a while, it'll be like,
He's such a dad.
yes.
You
yes.
know? It's just like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
why do you do that?
Although, I did like that one. That sounded like a Bobby. That was like a Bobby line.
That's what's, yeah, like, Lawler is for sure, like, as Heenan kind of fades away, like, Lawler's definitely taking that place, but Heenan's better.
Yeah, well, because he just doesn't have that, like, corny dad vibe.
No.
Like, he makes the jokes, and it's kind of like, oh, shit, did Bobby Heenan just really say that? You kind of can't believe it. Whereas Lawler, it's like, oh, Lawler, you're just being the king.
You're just that weird dad.
Yeah.
You're not funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think the Yokozuna interview really added any kind of interest to the Hogan match.
We're treading water.
Yeah.
Fast.
Just filling
Yeah,
airtime. Really.
We're treading water fast with that feud.
Yeah. Coming out of the Yokozuna promo there on King's Court, we got our main event of the evening, and it is a kind of like a mixed partner here.
Interesting.
As WWF Tag Team Champion IRS teams with Fatu to take on Rick Steiner and Billy Gunn. So as you can tell, it's one member of Money Incorporated and one member of Head Shrinkers taking on one member of the Steiner Brothers and one member of the Smoking Guns, because all 4 of those teams will be competing at the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
With Money Incorporated teaming with the Head Shrinkers and Smoking Guns teaming with the Steiner Brothers. So hey, let's just kind of put them on this match right here. See if they can work together like true friends.
It's like they ripped up a piece of paper with words on it and like glued it back together and was like, okay, put this out there.
Yeah.
You know.
We weren't really far off from like our ideal partners here. I know you said you had wanted IRS and Fatu, right?
Yeah.
And I had wanted DiBiase and Fatu.
Right.
And then I had wanted Scott Steiner and Billy Gunn, and I think you wanted the same, right? Instead of Rick and Billy, you want Scott and Billy too?
I know. I think I wanted Rick and Bart because it was like the
Oh, right. I think you're
collegiate, like actual wrestler guys.
Yeah, maybe you did want Rick and Bart.
Because then you have IRS, who's another like collegiate wrestler guy,
Yes.
and then Fatu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we still, I guess we both kind of got a piece of what we wanted.
Yeah, it was like a nice little happy medium.
Yeah, exactly. They met right in the middle.
Yes.
So the match starts off with Billy Gunn and IRS, and then we see Afa, just like a weird cutaway to Afa eating ice cream, like an ice cream bar.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know.
And Macho Man was on the ice cream bar, and he goes, "Oh, I don't know if I should be flattered or scared. I'm thinking scared."
Why would you be flattered?
That yeah, like oh, that's turning me on. You're
Yeah,
eating me
what?
as ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
How have they not done that with like the Raw girls? And then Macho be like,
Oh,
"Oh yeah, I'll
yeah.
melt in your mouth." You know,
That's vanilla flavored right there. Yeah.
I'll give you a chocolate vanilla twist. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that would be kind of intense.
That would have been good.
So IRS pays Fatu some money right from the go here to kind of handle Rick Steiner.
Yeah, he
himself.
like shoves it in his tights, and then
Then he passes it to Afa, right?
Right.
And Samu, and then they're just like, "What is this?" And they're like sniffing it. He's like, "Smells okay." And then they give Afa the money, and he like puts it in his mouth and starts eating it. It's like, how dirty is that
dirty
money?
Because now, okay, it was in Fatu's fucking tights, right?
Right.
So he got shoved in there. He pulls it out of the tights.
Samu then sniffs it.
Right. He like rubs it on his nose and then hands it to Afa. Afa kind of looks at it and like crinkles it up and just chews it wicked obnoxious.
I don't know if they even really thought that through.
And I was just like, oh my god, that's fucking gross.
So essentially, the $50 bill or whatever it was, let's just say it's on Fatu's nuts. Samu then smells Fatu's nuts on the dollar bill, and then Afa proceeds to put Fatu's nuts, Samu's nose, in his mouth.
And let's not forget, it came out of IRS's sweaty ass polyester
Right.
pants.
So who knows?
Right. Right.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's fucking
God.
that's fucking gross.
That is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it's like he didn't even vomit or nothing. He's just like, well, it tastes good. okay.
All right.
Don't want to know what kind of meals you're eating at the hotel.
Yeah.
Fatu works over Billy with strikes, and then Billy comes back with a drop toe hold and drop kick, and then Billy hits a swinging neck breaker for a 2 count. Rick enters and plants Fatu with a power slam, and then Rick focuses on IRS, like taunting him, and then IRS, but that leaves IRS hiding behind the post, as if like, hey, you can't see me. I'm right behind a post on the ring apron, right in front of your face. Fatu stops Rick with the elbow strike and clothesline. That brings in IRS because he's, hey, you know, Rick's down now, so I can get some strikes in there. IRS misses a clothesline and then is dumped to the floor by Rick. IRS is met with right hands from Rick and a leaping clothesline. Rick gets a 2 count after an elbow drop. Billy leg drops IRS left arm and tags out to Rick, who gets worked on over in the corner. IRS misses a right hand and then decks Fatu off the apron. That leads to the head shrinkers being like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, why would you fucking hit me?
Bullshit.
Yeah, like we're gonna fuck you up like hardcore right now. Like, you don't fucking punch me."
Yeah.
So IRS and DiBiase are like trying to explain, like, no, like,
it was an
no,
accident.
we're good. Like, I didn't mean to do that. As we go to commercial, we come back from commercial, and during the break, DiBiase gave the head shrinkers a handful of 50s.
It was like fanned out a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh my God, take everything in the briefcase. Please don't beat us up.
Like, easily, probably like $1,000
Yeah.
of 50s.
Yeah.
That leads to IRS dumping Rick to the floor, and then Rick is driven into the steps by DiBiase. Samu gets a cheap shot in as well on Rick. Fatu clotheslines Rick in the ring and taunts the camera. Fatu slams Rick and attempts a splash, but Rick gets his knees up to block it.
By the way, they ate the Bills again.
I didn't want to note that, because I definitely remember that happening again.
They ate the Bills
and
again.
I just didn't want to relive it.
Yep.
But yes, that did happen. Billy and IRS, they get tags, and Billy hits a backdrop on IRS. Billy does the same to Fatu, and then Billy clotheslines IRS and drop kicks Fatu. Billy decks DiBiase off the apron, but IRS clotheslines Billy from behind, and that gets the 3 count. What'd you think of this main event?
I thought it was an absolute clusterfuck.
I agree with you.
I think the brief moments in the ring where it was a one-on-one guy, like, pretty solid. So, like, Rick Steiner and IRS would be in the ring, and they would have, like, a good solid 30 seconds of some good wrestling, and then it would just go to shit again. And I don't like that they really turned this match into more of an angle than anything. So it was, like, more focused on IRS and DiBiase arguing with the head shrinkers than really anything else. So I don't know. I wanted to see more of what I expected out of this match. Some really good mixed in action between 4 really different teams. I was really hoping to get some of that, and we didn't. With that said, the finish was very random. Billy gets, a roll-up for the win?
No, Billy loses. IRS clotheslines.
That's right, yeah, that's right. So it's like, it happened, like, really quick and kind of weird. Like, what just happened? So, I don't know. I didn't like this match, per se. I liked the idea of this match and some moments in the match. Like, specifically, I'm trying to think. I want to say, let me check my notes here. It was really kind of in the beginning of the match. Okay, so yeah, it was when Rick and Fatu are in the ring, and they mix it up a little bit. Rick does the buster on Fatu out of a dead run. So he catches Fatu and planted his ass. Mm-hmm. So it was like, oh yeah, some action from WrestleMania that we saw. Like, I'm ready for that. But we really didn't get a lot of that. And that's what I was expecting. Some of that action. Some cool, like, smoking guns, like, you know, with Billy in there, like, kind of mixing it up. But it was just too much of a cluster. There was too much going on.
Nobody really got a time to shine.
Nobody did.
I think the best part of it was the interaction between the Head Shrinkers and Money Incorporated, really, in terms of entertainment value.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, it was, like, funny, and that's what they kind of made the match around. But at the same time, you're losing teams in the shuffle. Like, Smoking Guns are lost in the shuffle. The Steiners are lost in the shuffle. With this match, there's no direction. What is the direction? I don't know. What's the direction? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I found myself kind of losing interest midway through it.
Yeah.
Because it goes probably 11 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you probably could have cut it to 6 and had the same.
And got what you needed
same
out of
impact there.
I have a little bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
The same money that they used to pay off the head shrinkers in Alpha, all the chewed up money, all the bills, is the same money they used to pay Bret Hart that night.
What? That
all the chewed up.
That's disgusting.
All the chewed up ball money goes to Bret Hart. Like, that's his paycheck. He's like, oh, this really smells like Fatu's nuts.
You know, well, here's the thing. So they pay everybody like $150. So what if that is the money for everybody?
It's like a rib.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want your payoff? Come pull it out of Alpha's mouth.
Yeah. Hey, Peter Weeks, here's that $150. Oh, God, what is that? And then Fatu's like, sorry, bro.
Oh, shit. I thought you'd enjoy that one.
That's
real trivia, by the way.
Yeah, I bet that's exactly how it happened.
I read it on Cage Match.
Yeah, I bet you did. It was all in German, but I'm assuming that's what they were saying, right?
Right, yeah.
Of course, there is the English version of Cage Match, but it'd be funny if you read the German part. Like,
oh, that's where I got it from.
What happened?
I read it immediately. It's like, oh, I should probably bring that up.
That's ridiculous.
Fatu's nuts on Bret's money. That's what it said.
What a great feud. That could be a good feud.
You're nothing but a degenerate. You put your testicles.
You're wiping $50 bills with your nuts and giving it to me.
You're attacking me as a person, not my character. In Canada, we don't do that.
God.
We have health care.
We don't have guns.
Oh, shit.
Our strippers have all their teeth.
Did you ever realize America looks like a giant toilet bowl? He's like the Islander, too. So it's like, Brett, what are you talking about?
I just got my green card. What are you talking about? So coming out of the main event, we're told that next week, Marty Jannetty will take on Doink the Clown. That should be pretty good. Mr. Perfect will be in action as well. And then Jerry Lawler will be wrestling in a singles match as well.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be a barn burner. But the show's not over because Razor Ramon makes his way down to ringside in full gear.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe he has a match after the show goes off air. I didn't bother to look it up, but I'm assuming he probably did. He has offered $7,500 to the 1-2-3 Kid to wrestle him. And the fans are naturally chanting 1-2-3 at Ramon. Ramon laughs it off, saying that he has a scoop. And that the scoop is that Ramon will, in fact, wrestle the Kid next week for $7,500.
Yeah. Next week, the Stick Man is going to face the bad guy for $7,500.
Now, you'd be amazed here of what Ramon says that he can get for that kind of money. Because Ramon says that for $7,500, he could have everyone in the arena or venue standing on their heads naked. Now,
that sounds like a better investment to me. I don't know about you.
Why in the fucking blue hell would you want 800 to 1,000 people standing on their heads, butt ass naked? How does that come into your brain? Like, $7,500. I could have everybody in here standing on their head naked. And I think, because Vince is, talking about it. And Vince is like, what the fuck?
Well, and then off camera, Vince started unbuttoning his shirt. Like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So that's what we didn't see. God damn it.
Peter Weeks is...
Peter Weeks is like, holy fuck, I don't got to work for the next 3 years.
Peter Weeks with a run-in. I'm fucking in. I'm naked right now.
Fucking stripping off his top. His titties are flopping out. Razor's like, no, man.
I don't understand.
Dude, it's so funny because if you so he's a Cuban gangster, let's say. That's who Razor Ramon is. Cuban gangster. Why wouldn't you say, I don't know, for $7,500, I could own this city, you know.
Or I could get all the Cuban cigars I wanted.
Something like
better
that.
than people standing on their fucking heads naked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that what Cuban
I could
mafia
have
guys want?
right. I could have the mob in my back pocket for 75. You know, something.
Or like I could have him killed.
Well, that might be a little bit too much.
We ain't PG anymore.
For $7,500 or $7,500, Chico, I could have Stickman in the ditch, fucking dead, Chico. Face down in the dirt, man.
No one ever find him.
Yeah.
Family members will call in the show. Where is he? Dead. I only know where he's at. Get those cinder blocks. Put him in the fucking lake. Alligators kill him.
Sleeping with the fishes,
Yeah, it's
Chico.
over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brother. Okay, so McMahon notes that 7% of the people who have voted for that poll that was mentioned earlier believe that Ramon will win the King of the Ring tournament.
So this is where I wanted to bring up the whole voting
I figure this is where you
thing.
want to. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so that blows my mind, and I don't believe it because think about the last month that we've watched, even of just Raw.
Yeah.
And, you know, flashbacks of the weekend shows and stuff. Ramon is getting a decent amount of cheers. Like, people, there's chance for Razor
Yeah,
Ramon.
he's certainly on the edge of a face turn.
So there is no way that he only has 7% of the vote to win the tournament. There's no way.
Well, here's the thing, though. We don't know how many people have voted, so it could be 100 people.
And it's like The Office. Like WWF Office. They passed the paper around at lunch and was like, fill in the bubble of who you think's going to win.
Well, I'm just saying, though, let's say... Okay, not 100. Let's say like 50 people have voted, okay? Maybe 7% is like really third. He doesn't tell us like, oh, that's second to last.
Right.
Maybe he's like,
Right.
you're fourth.
Right.
He's just insinuating that he's
Like lower
low.
down. Yeah.
You know? It's
So,
all,
I don't
It's all a
know.
matter of interpretation.
I thought that was bullshit. Like, there's no way he's got like no votes.
He would have more votes than a guy like Duggan or Hughes.
Completely.
Like, I would have to
Completely.
think so. Yeah.
Complete.
So that little tidbit's brought up to Ramon's attention, but Ramon says that Hart, who is facing the first round, is just going to be a nutter loser at the event. Yes, that's right, a nutter loser, not another. And the reason he says a nutter is because King of the Ring takes place at the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio. So he's using the arena name as a phrase here.
I feel like somebody in the back told him to use that.
That's something like Jerry Lawler would say.
Yeah, because
Not Razor.
well, yeah. Why is he relying on? Is that a joke? Is he like trying to make a joke?
I think he is. Yeah, he's supposed to be like, oh yeah.
Well, it fucking sucks.
Get it? You're gonna be a nutter loser at the Nutter Center.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I didn't like
I don't think this promo did Razor any favors. The crowd
No.
was overwhelmingly chanting 1, 2, 3, kid.
Yes.
It just seemed as though whatever Razor said here didn't matter at all. Because we even get into the fade to close the show, and Vince basically cuts him off, and they pretty much run out of time. So, if this is a featured interview, it's getting cut short, and Vince just like shuts Razor down. It's like, all right, we'll see you at the King of the Ring.
Right.
And it's like, well, okay, well that sucked. Not a good promo for Razor Ramon here. I didn't think.
I didn't think so either. But that does in fact wrap up the Raw episode. So now we're free and clear of any TV before King of the Ring, and then King of the Ring is up next. As for this episode, I mean, I kind of consider it a lackluster episode, to be honest with you. Nothing really major happening, aside from, I guess, Shawn Michaels being the new Intercontinental Champion. But that didn't happen on the show. And the debut of Diesel. In terms of in-ring, though, or anything, I don't really think there's anything really to see.
Yeah, nothing too important developed. I mean, we saw the debut of Diesel. Shawn had a mediocre to, squash match.
Yeah.
Adam Bomb kind of had a weird outing this week. I kind of would want to erase that from memory as quick as I can. And other than that, like the tag match we talked about was just such a cluster of waste. Like it was such a wasted match that I was kind of bummed out with that. And really, I was very surprised to see nothing from like Hulk Hogan. Like why wasn't Hogan on this show?
That's a great thing that you point that out, because McMahon had hinted last week, whoa, we're going to hear from Hogan. Hogan might be here.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And nothing.
Yeah, we heard nothing. And we haven't heard anything from Hogan since I feel like...
At least 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks.
I feel like it's even been longer than that.
No, because he's been on like the King of the Ring report.
Okay, just like cut a promo.
Yeah.
I just... Here's my thing. Like, Mr. Fuji is only going to get this angle so far.
Yeah.
Like, you can't keep just relying on Mr. Fuji to push this. Like, it's not going to work. Because really, every time Yoko talks, I just groan. Like, oh my god, fuck no. Stop having him talk. Fuji, you can barely understand, and anytime he's on the mic, he just says the same thing over and over again. It's like, oh, it's a fluke at WrestleMania. Like, we're going to beat you, and you're going to go down, Hogan. And that's it. Like, it is the same thing every week.
There's no depth to it.
There's no consistency. It's just water that runs right through.
No, well, it is consistent. It's just like the same fucking words.
Yeah, but there's no texture to it. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like blah. Like it's just there's nothing.
Yeah, like if
there.
you were watching it, I think at this point in '93, you're probably just in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
There's only so many times you can hear the same thing.
It feels like they don't care.
Yeah.
They're just relying on it being Hulk Hogan's name on the marquee, and like, oh, people will come. Like, it doesn't matter what he's doing, people will come.
Yeah, and I think that's a sign of a disconnect
Completely.
from the promoters there.
Completely.
To think, oh, well, Hogan will he'll bring in the money, but it's just like, I don't think people want to see that anymore.
I mean,
at least in the WWF.
Right. And I will go in next week more into depth of my perception of this whole feud between Yoko and Hogan, and my perception of Hogan, and kind of how I was thinking the WWF was perceiving Hogan at this time. I don't want to get into that here, but I completely agree with you. I think they're banking on this to be a good little boost for them, and it's going to be, I'm thinking, an anchor on the show.
Well, one of the things that already proves that that's not really true is the lack of house show business.
Right, there you go.
So that should already be an indicator.
There you go.
From the get-go.
There you go.
I have kind of surprised that Hogan hasn't wrestled on Raw or anything. You know, like
nothing.
Have a match like Mr. Hughes or something.
He's like a ghost. Like,
yeah,
where's Hulk Hogan?
It's just kind of weird. But yeah, so that wraps up the Raw part of it. So the next episode is King of the Ring '93, which I'm sure will be kind of a long one because we're going to be obviously covering the tournament, probably share our thoughts
Some
on promos, in general feuds like you mentioned. So we might have a discussion about Hogan and stuff like that. So that should kind of give you an idea of like the midway point of where we are thinking of the WWF in '93.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm looking forward to the King of the Ring.
So am I.
The tournament part of it.
Yeah, so am I.
So that should be kind of interesting. I think there's, like we've said, there's numerous different people that could potentially win it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see how they kind of get out of maybe some situations.
Yeah, because they're going to need to. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
You know.
You got anything else for this episode, or should we just...
No, I mean, the only other thing is I was hoping this Raw would have been a little bit stronger going into the King of the Ring.
It's a week go-home show.
It's a week heading into a pay-per-view. It's a week heading into a show. So I was a little bummed. And all things considered, I hope that with King of the Ring out of the way, we'll be able to ramp up even more. Because now that they'll be able to build towards, let's say, SummerSlam, I'm hoping that SummerSlam, like we talked about before, is like the WrestleMania of the year. The best card of the year, the most interesting feuds, a lot of new people on the card. Like, I'm still holding out hope for the future. Like,
right.
King of the Ring, I'm looking forward to the tournament. But I'm still looking forward, you know.
And the good thing about King of the Ring is that there is that bridge of the tournament.
Yes.
So it's not, you don't have to rush anything. You're building just a tournament, essentially.
Right.
And then right after that, you can go
exactly.
wherever you want to go from there.
Exactly.
So no, I agree with you. I think the second half of WWF should be interesting to
Yes.
see who else maybe comes in,
Right.
you know, and in what direction they go into. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly still intrigued.
Me too. Me too. I'm holding out hope for future, for a couple months.
So I mean, so as usually, what you're thinking about the WWF at this time, whether it was what you were actually thinking in '93 or maybe what you think about now in 2018, you can share those thoughts on the Facebook page at ICOPOD, or you can send us an email at icopodcast@gmail.com, and eventually here we'll read them on the air. And like I mentioned before, when Austin's moving away, maybe you want to come on a show.
Steal my thunder a little bit. I get it.
Yeah,
You know.
I
get it.
know I would.
Yeah.
So, any future Raws or pay-per-views, we can have some people on maybe talk about the general thoughts, maybe up to that point. So let's say there's a Raw in August of '93 or something. Somebody comes on the show. You want to talk about some various things before we get into reviews or anything like that? Why not?
Bring it up.
It won't hurt.
Bring it up.
There's always good for conversation. Maybe you have a different thought process than we do.
Right.
The more the merrier.
Right.
Sounds good to you?
I am down to clown.
All right, Doink. You got anything else going on? Or is that...
What are we listening to close this one out, Bob?
This would be Tatanka's music. Dun, dun, dun,
We're done. Just
dun.
end the show.
It's
We're done.
already playing.
We're done. We're done.
For Austin Skinner, I'm Bob Collins Jr. And for my boy Tatanka, you've been listening to ICOPOD.
And unfortunately, you gotta hear it.